to my channel. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Markela Tarrance, and for those of you who do know me, welcome back. Today I'll be showing you all how to achieve this middle part blunt cut quick weave. So if you have not already, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And be sure to turn on your post notification bell. That way you can be notified when I drop my weekly videos. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video.
Alrighty guys, so as you all see, my hair is freshly washed, conditioned, and blow dry, and my hair kind of grew a little bit. I need to clip my ends, but nevertheless, right now what I'm doing is I'm using my rat tail comb to make my middle part. If you are going to do a middle part, I highly suggest that you use a rat tail comb. It makes the process super easy with making your middle part. And once I finally get that, I just section a small portion of my hair. You don't have to leave too much hair out because it is a quick weave. It's not a sew-in. So I'm just leaving like a small portion, like small medium portion out just to cover the tracks. And you want to make sure that, of course, your lines are nice and straight, and you want to take your time when you do this. Do not rush this process because this can ultimately determine how your foundation will lay with your leave out, right? So just take your time and just make sure that you leave out enough hair, but don't leave out too much hair. Now that my hair is sectioned off at the top, I'm just going to braid my hair down into 3 braids. Anytime you have a quick weave, you want to make sure that however many braids you do are nice and flat. I feel like the fewer the braids, the more flatter it is. If you do not know how to braid, you can also use the ponytail method where you slick your hair down and you put the protective glue on your hair and you just put it in a ponytail and put your cap on like that. But if you're like myself and you just like a little bit more security, you can braid your hair. And if you do not know how to braid your hair, simply ask somebody to help you. Or if you want to learn, I did create a video on how to braid your hair to the scalp, and you can click that notification at the top. Alrighty guys, so here is what my braids look like up under my quick weave. It's super simple and super easy. They don't have to be perfect, but you want to make sure that they are nice and tight and secure. So today I will be using the black cap, not the wig cap, right? This is the actual stocking cap for quick weaves. You don't want to get that thick cap because it's gonna be kind of hard for your tracks to stay glued, right? You want it to stay on your head, and with that wig cap, it's for a wig, so be mindful when you grab that. So right now what I'm doing is just securing it, sizing it up, just trying to make sure that it fits my head, and trying to make sure that it's like no bulkiness or anything with the cap. So I did bring my braid down to the front because I did not want to accidentally put the quick weave styling protective gel. I guess this is like a gel. I didn't want to accidentally put that on my hair, because if I do that, then that means I would have probably had to start over, and nobody was really trying to do that. So Anytime you're using the quick weave protector, you want to make sure that you put a nice layer on top. Now you can do up to 2 layers or up to 3, honestly, but I usually only do about 1 to 2 because I usually don't keep my quick weaves in that long. But in your case, if you want to keep it up, because quick weaves can last up to a month, 2 months, depending on how well you keep up with it and depending on how much you sweat. So you want to make sure that you put a generous amount on your hair. Do not be scared to apply this protector on your hair. Essentially, this is to help prevent the glue from getting on your hair, okay? It is supposed to help be that thin line between love and hate for you not to get that glue on your hair, okay? It's either you're gonna love it or you're gonna hate it, and I want you to love it, so make sure you put a generous amount on. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up because this does get a little repetitive. So now that I was able to put my nice thick layer on, I'm just going to blow dry it just to seal it dry. So you want to make sure that it is kind of like a hard feeling. You don't want the protector to still be wet, because then your tracks will not be able to fully lay and stay intact how they are supposed to. So make sure when you are doing this, you either blow dry it or you sit up under the dryer. I don't recommend that you just wait until it's dry because it's going to take quite some time, right? So essentially, this is what the cap looks like. As you see, the color is different a little bit because it is nice and hard. So this is what you want your cap to look like when it's finished. So today I will be using my favorite hair from Inches of Envy. This is a 10-inch of their Brazilian straight. Make sure that you check them out on Instagram and use my promo code KEILA15. Alright, so now we're going to get into it. Anytime you are doing a quick weave, you can measure the tracks to your hair and cut it, or you can cut the track and just glue them. I highly recommend that you measure the tracks on your hair and then you glue them, because of course you want it to lay flat and you just want everything to be even all the way around. So I highly recommend that you do that. So I did go ahead and speed this up for you because this process definitely gets repetitive. But I did just want to show you all how I apply the glue onto the track and how I just simply lay it down. And also I like to throw in using the blow dryer because the blow dryer helps with making the process faster, and it also helps with securing your tracks as well. So I am going to go ahead and speed this up, and I will come right back in once I am finished laying down my tracks. Guys, so this is what my hair looks like. You do want to make sure that you space your tracks out. I meant to bring this point up earlier. Make sure you space your tracks out because you do not want it to be bulky, and you do not want it, like, you want it to lay flat. So don't leave too much space to where it looks super thin and you can see the tracks, but enough space just for it to lay flat, give it that fullness and that natural look, and everything will come out right. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just straightening some of those, like, I don't know, when you like cut the rubber band off of the tracks, it kind of leaves the hair kind of stiff and it's like all bent and everything. So I'm just taking the flat irons just to straighten out those parts, right? So essentially this will kind of give you a little bit of idea how your hair will look. And as you all see, it is becoming more and more flat. So I'm just going to continuously do this all the way around just to make sure that my hair is nice and flat. So now this is a very important step. Cutting off the cap can be a blessing and a curse. A blessing because, one, if you cut it off and you take your time, you don't have to worry about cutting your hair. But if you are rushing this process and you just trying to cut and you're not paying attention, you could cut your hair, which means you can mess up the whole style. So we don't want that to happen. So I want you guys to take your time when doing this. I usually insert my index finger up under the cap as I'm cutting because it just helps a guide. So I make sure that I cut very closely, not close enough to the point where I cut my finger, but close enough to where I know I'm not going to cut my hair. And eventually I will get to the point where all of the lace is cut. So once you cut it down the middle, then you can just follow a line from where you part your hair and you can just cut it like that. So you definitely want to take your time when you do this. And anytime that you're cutting the sides as well, I highly recommend that you also use clips. So you can either put the sides in a ponytail or you can just do or use clips like so. So I am going to go ahead and speed that up, and I am going to let you guys see how I did cut the remainder of my lace. Alrighty guys, so we are just about finished. Now we are going to go ahead and get into cutting the blunt cut. I will be using my local beauty supply store scissors, and I am just going to cut. Now depending on how long you want your bob to be will determine how low or high you will cut. So since I'm doing a blunt cut, I am just cutting straight across. If you do not feel confident with cutting your own hair, I highly recommend that you ask somebody, because this is a critical part of the blunt cut, right? This is the hairstyle at this point. So you want to make sure that you take your time. If you need to use a mirror behind you, if you have like a stand-up mirror or so, I would recommend that you go into the bathroom, set up your stand-up mirror, that way you can see the back. So right now I just have a front mirror. I have been doing my hair for so long to the point where I know where I mess up and I know where I can, finesse. So if you don't feel confident, make sure you do those steps that I just gave you. So right now I am just cutting away. So y'all, I'm such a stickler on like being perfect, but like not being perfect, but my hair. So I feel as though I did a great job with cutting my hair. You want to make sure you definitely take your time with this. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, I'm going to be very transparent. I accidentally cut too high on one side. So this side, as you see, I'm just taking the scissors and I'm just cutting in an upward motion. That way when my bob sits, it'll actually like sit in a kind of asymmetric way. That way it won't be like straight all around. I kind of did want to give it that layer effect in the back to try to play off my accident. But as you all see, it is super simple and it's super easy. Also, another method that I wanted to recommend is if you if you spray water at the ends of your hair, this will also help too with giving that perfect blunt cut, because the hair is wet, which means it's super flat and it's easier to cut. So if this is your first time doing this hairstyle, maybe you want to do that as well. You can wet the hair, then you can cut it. But essentially, this is it. I am going to go ahead and speed this up. That way we can get moving right along. So now that I am finished cutting the bob, now we are going to focus on the leave out. I am very much so natural, so I always like to use my Cheese Silk Infusion to give my hair gloss, to give it moisture, anytime I am applying heat to my hair. So now I'm going to take my rat tail comb again, just to part my hair, right? Just to make sure that my part is where it was. I want to make sure that it's nice and centered, and I also want to make sure that I left out enough hair on each side to make sure that my tracks are covered. As far as my flat irons go, I am just doing a very gentle bump. I'm not doing like a crazy bump or anything like that. I don't particularly care for those, but I did want my bob to be nice and soft. So I'm just going to do this around the perimeter of my hair. If you like to focus on your leave out first and then style your hair, you can definitely do that. Since this is a bob and it doesn't require too much styling, I am just focusing on styling the weave and then styling my hair. So either one works, so make sure you do which one is best for you. So as you all see, the hair is coming along. Sis, we are almost finished. I love quick weaves, and I know y'all love quick weaves, and I love y'all for loving my quick weaves, okay? So like I said, I'm just going to take my rat tail comb, part it down the middle, and now I'm going to focus on laying down my leave out. So you want to make sure that if you have some sort of wax, I always like to use the olive oil wax because it helps to lay down my hair and it also locks in moisture. So I am a big fan of using the hot comb. I like to run it like through my hair about 1 to 3 times at the roots. It's usually, well, I'm not gonna say 1 to 3, I'll say 1 to 2 times. So I'm just gonna run that through. If you do not feel comfortable using a hot comb, make sure that your hair or your roots are flat enough to where you can just flat iron them. I just like doing this because it helps to keep my hair straight for a longer period of time. And once I finish doing that, I'm just going to follow behind that with some flat irons. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys continue watching. Alrighty guys, so we are looking just about finished. So essentially this is what my hair looks like. It is everything that I imagined it to be. It is nice, it is flowy. Shout out to Inches of Envy again for this beautiful hair. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did creating it. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe this video, and I cannot wait to see you guys next time. Thank you so much.